Here goes nothing. That's not good. Welcome back to the series where we flip our way from $500 all the way to a supercar. In today's video, we'll be starting to get the engine that we rebuilt from the scrapyard back into the car. Hopefully we don't run into any issues and all the work that we've done on the engine is all good. Fingers crossed, nothing blows up, nothing snaps, nothing breaks, nothing leaks. So yeah, this video will probably be a 2-3-day video because today is Friday after work, evening time. So I'm hoping to get the engine just into the bay, but I'll probably not get around to fitting everything else that we need to fit, like the drive shafts, all the cables, all the sensors, everything that we disconnected. We still need to get some antifreeze oil and everything like that. I don't know, I'll probably get that tomorrow morning before we go to the garage. But yeah, so today we're just going to get the engine into the bay and I think that'll be enough for tonight. And then tomorrow we'll move on to getting everything plugged in and put back together. I'll be spending all day tomorrow, so hopefully we don't need the 3 days to get the job done. But then again, I did say that I'm going to do the engine rebuild in one evening, which took me 3 evenings. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself and just go bit by bit and see how long it takes us. So yeah, enough chit chat. Let's get into the garage and start getting this engine back into the car. Okay, so hopefully today we get that lump into here, put on the engine mounts so it stays there without the crane. And as long as I get that done today, I'll be pretty happy. If I get that done quick enough, we might do some extra work. But as I said, as long as I get that done tonight, I'm happy. And then when we come back tomorrow, we'll get all the fluids put in, all the pipes connected, all the cables, sensors and everything else. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to hear the first start. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that now to follow us in this journey from 500 all the way to a supercar. Once the engine is in, we get it polished and cleaned, it'll be going up for sale. So you can let me know down below in the comments what the next car should be. I'm hoping after we sell this car, our total budget will be around €1,000. So yeah, if you have any ideas of what car I should buy next, or if you have a car for sale, let me know down below. Okay, I guess there's no point waiting anymore. And yeah, let's get the engine into the engine bay. Okay, so the first thing I think I'm going to do is lower the car, because I don't know if you've seen the other video, we had problems getting the engine out. We were getting clearance issues with the lift as the car was too high and the roof was too low. So the first thing I'm going to do is lower the jack stands down to the minimum, and then we'll bring the engine out and then start dropping it in. Okay, so I've dropped this side. I might leave this side up because it's just hard to get there, and just dropping that side, it dropped down quite low. So I think that'll be enough because we only had a little bit of clearance issues and now it dropped down by a good bit. So yeah, let's move the jack and lift this engine up, get it into place and start putting it in. Okay, so the engine is finally back in the Astra. So it's only holding on by the 2 top mounts, but the engine is in finally. Really happy with that. The only thing I was planning today is to get the engine in, so everything I planned to do today, I did, so I'm happy enough. It's still early enough, so what I might do is connect some of the cables back. So I might connect the coolant hoses, the radiator hoses, reroute the cables where they should be. So then tomorrow we won't have too much work. I'll put on the engine mounts, the gearbox mounts underneath. So the plan is to literally do as little as possible just to get the engine started, because I want to start it and listen to how it sounds and how it runs. I don't want to do everything just to end up having an issue. So the plan is, like I said, to do the bare minimum to get it started. To get it started, I think all we need to do is connect all the electrical cables, so like all the sensors, injectors. I'm pretty sure we don't even need the alternator or the compressor or anything like that. It should run without it. So we'll connect all the oil pipes, fuel pipes, electrical components, bottom engine mounts, drive shafts, and then we should be able to start it and hear how it sounds, and fingers crossed it runs as it should and it doesn't have any problems. And once we know that there isn't any problems with the engine, we can then put everything back how it should be and where everything needs to go. By the end of tomorrow, the car will drive by itself out of the garage. I will be very, very pleased with that. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is there's just cables everywhere. I'm just going to reroute everything where it should roughly be. So then tomorrow when I come down, I'll just have to plug everything in, get some oil in the engine, change the oil filter. I'll get some coolant. Also, I need to put the battery on charge. It'd come with a battery, it's in the boot. So I need to put that on charge. And that's it, yeah. We'll be able to finally start the engine and hear how it sounds. As I said, I hope there isn't any issues with it. So yeah, that's enough for today. I'm just gonna reroute a few things, plug some things back in, like hoses and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow where we carry on with the rest of the work. And by the end of the video, I hope to get it started. So make sure you watch till the end so you can find out if the scrapyard engine runs fine without any issues. Fingers crossed it does. Okay, so that's it. See you tomorrow. Welcome back. So it's the next day now. I'm gonna head to the shop and buy some coolant, oil. Then we need to get an oil filter. Probably get some .4 brake fluid as well, as we'll need to bleed the clutch. So yeah, we're heading to the shop now. Once I get all the bits, we'll start putting everything back together once we're back in the garage. Yesterday before I left, I did connect up some pipes, some sensors and that. So from the top of the engine, there's not much left. I need to get some Jubilee clips to clamp on some pipes. Today, I'm pretty sure we'll have everything done, put back together, and we'll be able to start the engine. Okay, so once I get all the bits, we'll head back to the garage and I'll see you then. Okay, so we're back in the garage. We got all our fluids. We got the brake fluid, coolant, oil filter. Everything there cost us €25 for a fully synthetic oil, antifreeze 4 litres, brake fluid 1 litre and a filter, which I think is dirt cheap. That's a very good deal. So today we spent €25, which leaves us with €35 left in the budget till we hit 500, which we can't go over. We still need to clean the exterior and interior, buy a wind mirror cover that's missing. Thank God the cleaning won't cost us much. The cover for the wind mirror shouldn't cost too much either. And also once we get the engine running, we'll bring the old one to the scrapyard, get some money back for that. So I'm pretty hopeful we can stay underneath the budget. So far, we're doing good, I think. So yesterday before I left, I rerouted the wires and cables that go down to the AC compressor alternator. I plugged in the injectors, EGR valves, few lines, and few other things like the gear linkage and stuff like that. So about 50% of the things are connected back. From the top, I'm pretty much done. All I've left from the top is to put the AC compressor back on, connect the pipe and the cable. Back here I have one little pipe that we need to connect onto here. Obviously we still need to put on the EGR to the intake pipe. The reservoir needs to go back in here. These coolant 2 lines that go to the heater matrix need to be hooked up. Then we need to put on some turbo pipes and install the battery back. That'll be everything done on the top. Then we'll move down to the bottom, do the gearbox mountings, the engine mounts. There's a few sensors and connections underneath. Yeah, we'll add coolant, oil, crank it over, build up some oil pressure, some fuel pressure, and then we can try to start the car. So soon we will hear how the engine sounds. Okay, so once I get everything done here at the top, I'll give you a quick update before I go underneath. And then once we're underneath, we'll get a few things hooked back up, and that'll be that. I don't want to install the battery tray yet fully, because if everything runs as it should run, we still need to bleed the clutch, which is here. So once the battery tray is there, it'll be in the way. So I think I'm just going to leave that. Once we want to crank it over, I'll just put the battery in here. We'll leave the battery tray till the very last. I'll get the coolant reservoir back, all the cables, everything plugged in that needs to be plugged in here, and then I'll update you.
2 hours later.
Okay, so everything that I want to do is done from the top. We got all the coolant lines, all the sensors, all the turbo pipes, AC compressors back, it's plugged in. I put in the airflow mass sensor, so when we start it doesn't have any issues with that. I left the airbox out because we still have to fit the alternator and the belt, so I'm gonna leave this side like that for now. We can fit it after we hear the engine run. So yeah, pretty much everything from the top at the both sides front and back is connected. The only thing that we'll have to do is obviously engine cover, airbox, battery tray, and the battery. But I don't want to fit the battery tray or anything like that, because as I said, we have to bleed the slave cylinder so the clutch works properly. So what I'm going to do now is go underneath, connect the engine mounts, some sensors that are left still at the back of the engine, go over everything, and then yeah, we're going to get some oil into the engine, change the filter, and try to crank it over. We'll crank it over first with something unplugged so it doesn't start, so we can build up fuel pressure, oil pressure, and yeah. Once we do that, the moment I've been waiting for a while now. So let's go underneath and see what needs to be done down there. Okay, so underneath the car, we have to put back these 3 bolts that we took out for the gearbox mount. Then we have another mount here that goes to the front. And once them 2 are in, that's the engine fully secured. Then we have a few sensors that need to be plugged in here. The starter motor, then hopefully we can get the alternator in easy enough from here. And yeah, that's pretty much all that needs to be done from the bottom. So a few cables, 2 engine mounts. I might stick in the drive shafts as well, because when we start the engine, the gearbox will probably spin, and I don't want any oil coming out, and I don't want the rags being sucked in. So yeah, I'm gonna connect back up the engine mounts, then the sensors, starter motor, alternator, maybe the drive shafts. And then, yeah, then basically just an oil filter change, put some oil into it, and we can try to start it. Well, crank it over first and then attempt to start it. Let's hope for the best. Okay, so we have everything put back together and it's ready to start. So we have the alternator back in, all the pipes, lines, everything connected. Drive shafts are back in. Engine mounts are in. Starter motor connected. All the sensors, everything is connected as it should be down here. I've changed the oil filter, filled it up with oil, put on the battery. So, moment of truth. Will it start? Fingers crossed, it starts. Here we got ignition. Here goes nothing. That's not good. The engine is turning over too freely. It feels like there's no compression whatsoever. Oh, well, that's not good. Yep. Definitely no compression. Well, that's disappointing to say the least. I was hoping everything would be fine. The only thing that I might try is remove all the plastics here so I can get to the main belt, and then I'm going to try to move the crankshaft 360. As the engine was completely dismantled, the main engine belt, the timing belt, was off, so maybe, fingers crossed, the crankshaft needs to turn 360 degrees, because the camshaft turns once and the crankshaft turns twice. So it might be that it's just the wrong way around, like 360 degrees. So unfortunately, we have to take off the timing belt. Well, take everything off so I can get to the timing belt. Because when I turn the engine over now, you can feel that it's just completely no compression whatsoever. And I do still think the engine is good. Everything else around the engine has to be good because, well, it ran on the other engine. So the only logical solution I can think of. Getting the crankshaft turned 360, check the timing again, and I think we should have the compression back. I was hoping to, well, be finished, but I guess God has other plans for me. All right, so I'm gonna remove this pipe, or just move it off to the side. And yeah, we're gonna have to get some cables off, get this plastic off, and yeah, try to time it up. Okay, once I get all the plastics off, I'll update you again. Okay, so I have the engine lift back and the engine supported. I removed the engine mount, got rid of all the plastics. I undone the main belt tensioner. I spun the bottom crankshaft 360 degrees, and yeah, now we're gonna put everything back, turn it around, make sure it's not hitting any valves or anything like that, and attempt to start it for the second time. If this doesn't work, well, then I don't know. I don't know, but let's just hope it does work. And yeah, once I get the belt back on, spin around a few times, I'll update you, or I'll just update you after I have everything put back together and she's ready to get started again. So yeah, let's get to work.
3 hours later.
Okay, so I have everything back now with the crankshaft turned 360 degrees. I've turned it over. There is compression, thank God. Now let's just hope once it starts, it runs good. So what I've done now is unplugged the injectors, and I've cracked open the fuel lines going to the injectors. So once we get fuel coming out of here, we'll close them up, plug in the injectors, and we should see it fire up. What I'm going to do is connect the jump leads from the Passat because the battery's going dead already. Okay, there is a bit of fuel, but not much. I'm going to try to close them up, plug in the injectors, and fire it up. It runs! It runs! Finally! Finally, it's running. And there doesn't seem to be any knocking sound. Obviously the exhaust is still not on the car, but it is running. Yes! Finally, some good news. The Astra and the scrapyard engine works perfect. It runs smooth. Obviously there is no exhaust on it at the moment, so it is a bit loud, but it runs. The rev is steady, it's not misfiring or anything like that. So now all that's left is to put everything back as it should, get the aux belt on, do the suspension work that we undone, and that's it. The engine will be finally complete. Yeah, I forgot we still need to bleed the gearbox, probably. But yeah, the car runs. I'm very pleased with myself. Okay, once I get everything put back together where it should be, everything's nice and done, I will bring it outside and then give you an update. Okay, so the car is finally out of the garage. The engine seems to be running fine. There isn't any leaks or anything like that, so that's all good. It is revving a little bit too high at the moment because the battery is not charging, so the alternator might be faulty. I need to double check the cables going to the alternator to see why the battery isn't being charged. But apart from that, everything is fine. So what we need to do now is find out why the battery is not getting charged. It's just probably going to be a faulty alternator. But don't forget that we only have €35 left in the budget. So what I might do is bring that engine to the scrapyard, get some money for that, recheck the alternator that is in the car. Maybe I didn't connect up something properly. But yeah, I'm happy enough that the engine is in the car and it's running fine. There isn't any issues, any water leaks, oil leaks, anything like that. I did drive it up and down and it seems fine. Obviously it's been sitting for a while, so it needs to be driven. It needs to go to the car wash. But yeah, pretty much everything is fine. If I were to sell it now as it is, I would already make a profit, so I'm happy enough. So yeah, the only thing that we need to do now is figure out why it's not charging. But as I said, I only have 35 euro left in the budget. I think I'll be able to get a used alternator for that price if we need one. So yeah, that's enough for this video. We got the Astra running. It runs well, thank God. In the next video, we'll tackle the charging problem, get it washed, clean the interior, polish it. And yeah, all that's gonna be left to do is put it up for sale and wait for someone to buy it. Okay, so that's enough for this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below of what car we should buy next when the Astra gets sold. Or if you know why the battery isn't charging, let me know down below and I'll see you in the next video.